Coach has been part of New York Fashion Week since 2014. I have only been doing videos on Coach's New York Fashion Week shows since 2024. That means I have missed 10 years of them. So today I'm starting a new series of videos going through each of those shows in chronological order and focusing on the handbags. This will not only give us a look at the bags in the shows and how Coach has transformed over the years, but also provide a more broad perspective on how the current creative director, Stuart Vevers, who is responsible for all of these shows, has transformed Coach. And I plan to do one of these videos per month instead of just doing them back to back every Thursday, because I feel like that could get a little repetitive. So it's going to take a while to get through all of them. And I've created a playlist called Coach Runway Shows. I will have it linked in the description box below. So at any point you can go to that playlist and find all of the videos in one place. Plus, since my Coach videos are usually on Thursdays, for this series, when possible, I'm also going to try to follow up that next Saturday with a video where I feature a bag from the collection that I just talked about. So keep an eye out for that. And many of the bags that you'll see, even though they're not current releases, they are available on the Preloved market, and most of them are available for great prices. I am very excited about this new series. It's something that I've wanted to start doing for a while now, and I hope you're excited about it too, so stay tuned. And welcome, I'm Autumn Beckman, and I'm here to help you live your most luxurious life within your budget. I post new videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so please make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of those, and so you don't miss my daily community posts where I share the best sales of the day and fabulous handbags that I find. Also, don't miss my website, autumnbeckman.com. The shop page is where you'll find handbags and accessories that I have for sale, as well as the My Handbag Collection Organizer, which are planner pages that I've designed to help you organize and curate your handbags and your life. The heart of which are the item tracker pages where you can record everything you'd want to know about your handbags and small goods. I also have things like temptation trackers and purchase trackers, as well as a variety of calendar pages so you can choose what works best for you, plus project planning pages, several different habit trackers, and so much more. New York Fashion Week began in 1943. That was 2 years after Coach was founded, and at that time they did men's goods like wallets and belts. It wasn't until the early 1960s, when they hired Bonnie Cashin as their head designer, that they started designing women's handbags. And of course, to participate in New York Fashion Week, these are runway fashion shows, you have to have a line of clothing to present. But Coach never did clothing, at least not a whole collection of it, until Stuart Vevers was hired as their new creative director in 2013, and he is still the creative director today. Besides Vevers and Cashin, there was Reed Krakoff and a period where I haven't been able to find out who the designer or designers were. If you're interested in those periods and what Coach produced over those times, I do have videos on those that will be linked in the description box below. On February 6th, 2014, Coach debuted their first ever ready-to-wear collection at New York Fashion Week. And even though this was February, this was the fall-winter collection because those shows tend to happen about 6 months ahead of the collection dropping. Two things to mention before I show you the images of the bags from this show. One, they didn't do a runway show. Their first 3 shows were not runways. They were called presentations. It's where they have a path for the models to walk around in the clothing and accessories. In these presentations, there's not a big path, it's just a stage. In this case, they had screens behind them with images on them. For this first show, they were images of American suburbia, and the models walked across the stage. And the second thing I want to say before we get started is, even though this is a fashion show, like I said earlier, we're just focusing on the bags. According to an article I read from Vogue about this show, this collection was a huge success. And they said, quote, not least of all because of the accessibility factor, which is one of the things we love about Coach, right? They said Vevers coats and jackets will top out at around $3,000, an opening price for a shearling from a European luxury brand, and most pieces will retail for much less than that. Now, Stuart Vevers is from Britain, and in the video that I have of his time on Coach, I give you a little background of who else he's worked for, because he worked for some pretty big names before Coach. But when he came to Coach, he made a real effort to learn about the brand, and he really embraced Americana, because Coach is a quintessentially American brand out of New York. So he embraced Americana in this first collection, and in the show, and you see that reflected still in his work today. So let's talk about the bags. For me, the Americana theme that I get from this first show is road trips on motorcycles. There's a lot of black leather. There's also some white leather and some brown leather. There's fringe on some of these. There's silver studs. There's also some suede and some shearling, since this is a fall-winter collection. And the bags are very practical. For example, there are quite a few messenger bags in this show. My favorite, of course, being the fringed one. These bags immediately reminded me of this bag that I have from Coach. This is a vintage stewardess in black with this leather and suede black and red fringe all around the sides and the bottom, which was added later as part of a special collection. I'll link this video if you want to know more about this bag. But fringe has long had a place in Coach history, beginning with Bonnie Cashin, and it's long had a place in American history. There are also these tote bags. They're north-south and they're very large, so they'll hold everything you need. I especially love this one with all the little details in the leather. But I think the star of the show, the most memorable bag, has to be the Ryder. 2014 is the year that the Ryder was introduced. I've always felt like it has motorcycle vibes, and seeing it in the context of this collection and this show, that really makes sense. On this runway, there's the big Ryder bag, because it came in 2 sizes when it was eventually released. That's one of the things I will tell you with all these runway show videos I'm doing, is I have to rely on other people's photos, and the photos of the bags, we've talked about this before, are not great because the photographers tend to be focusing on the whole outfit and not really zeroing in on the bags. And sometimes the models are holding the bags in weird ways and it's hard to see them. But from what I can tell, it looks like there's a Ryder messenger bag and also this smaller Ryder bag that I can't quite tell if it's just a small bag or if it's like a double bag with 2 different compartments. But there's variation on these. I especially love the ones where he's mixed colors and mixed materials. So sometimes there will be leather and suede together, and sometimes there's shearling and suede, or all 3 of those. And he's also paying homage to Coach history with the turn locks, which were from Bonnie Cashin, and with the little hang tags, which were from before Bonnie Cashin's time. And in that article that I read from Vogue on this show, which was a review written the day of, they ended by saying, "Weber's Coach has good prospects." And from what we've seen, it certainly has. He's been very, very successful with Coach. He has really brought them back to life from where they were when he first started. I know a lot of us love what he has done with the company, and with the handbags in particular. And he also, as was pointed out in the article, has a sense of humor. I'll show you this one ready-to-wear piece, the sweater. So some of what he does is pulling from American pop culture. This sweater is basically a replica of the sweater that the character Danny wore, the little boy in The Shining. That rocket is something that we will see again in other Coach pieces that Beavers designs later. And I think he did a fabulous job in this collection, mixing classic and practical with really beautiful details and mixing up textures and colors. I mean, they're all neutrals in this case, but a lot of us love that. Oh, I forgot to mention there was also some little whip stitching around the edges of some of these bags, which is beautiful. And you see that a lot in future bags too. That particular messenger style you see a lot as well. In fact, it reminds me a lot of this messenger style, the tabby messenger, from the 22 runway, which we'll talk about a little later. So what do you think of the bags in this collection? What do you think of the show? Do you have any of them? Let me know in the comment section below. And do you have a favorite runway show from Coach or a favorite year that you're looking forward to seeing? Let me know that too. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Hope you're looking forward to this series like I am, and I hope to see you back here next time. Have a fantastic day. Bye.